Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I do note from the Trans-Tasman that speech got a rating of 2 out of 10.
What? How much?
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. But on to serious matters. Here. Mr Speaker, today New Zealand First asked a hapless Minister of Immigration questions about the rort being visited on this nation through lax legislation and an indifference to this national government, who are blinded by their desire to simply make money, regardless of increasing and overwhelming evidence that their new darling child, naming the export education sector, has become a people trafficker's paradise and an extortionist dream characterised by fraud, corruption and exploitation of the vulnerable and young. Yes. Mr Speaker, New Zealand First has submitted written questions, OIAs, and the Right Honourable Winston Peters has raised this matter on numerous occasions. We know a couple of things about the export education sector. Young people are coming here from developed countries all over the world with a sincere objective of getting a high-quality education, paying their full way and leaving, going home. We also know that there are those who are coming here from undeveloped nations, hell-bent on using it as a pathway to citizenship, to residency and citizenship, and then to enjoy the tax benefits and the subsidies of the New Zealand taxpayer. We also know that in January, the Independent Tertiary Institute admitted that incentives existed to work and gain residency in the education sector. We know in March that there were much about the government's policy of encouraging these people to come here. Mr Speaker, I want to put it to you that New Zealand First believes New Zealand government has a duty of care towards these foreign students that come here. We have a pastoral responsibility to ensure that they're not exploited, that they're not extorted, they're not manipulated, and they're certainly not lost in the labour force as slave labour. But does this government care about that? No. Not one bit. We warned in January, in fact, Winston Peters, our leader, warned in January that student visas were being sold as a backdoor to New Zealand residency back in January 2015. In November 19th, Patrick Smelly, of course a card-carrying member of New Zealand First, we all know, wrote saying, immigration officials are warning that New Zealand's reputation is at risk of there is widespread evidence of fraud and corruption, of exploitation in the workplace. Business leaders have been saying, and now on the record is saying, that deflation is being credited because of cheap foreign labour being imported, and that through the students' education scheme. We know Lincoln Tan wrote this month saying that Immigration Advisors Authority and Manish Sikri from the Licensed Immigration Advisors for New Zealand all raised concerns about this matter. But what do we hear from this minister today? This minister says, if they've got problems, they should go to the authorities. Is he dreaming? Is he on Planet National? Does he not know that these foreign students don't know their rights, don't know who the authorities are, have had their passports taken by unscrupulous employees? And the member for Wairarapa better button it, because he knows that there's a petrol station in Masterton right now that has been accused of doing this. But he wouldn't know. He doesn't live there. He doesn't live there. He hasn't got a clue.
Order. I'm sorry to interrupt the member, but that level of barrage from that member is completely unacceptable. If he interrupts again, I'll be asking him to leave the chamber for the general debate.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The member for Wairarapa doesn't know. He doesn't live there. People say that consistently. That's why they come into my office now. But we know, Mr Speaker, this is a serious matter. New Zealand's reputation as a quality provider and as a good nation of good people is at risk because the Minister of Education today refuses to accept that we are, through our international export education sector, allowing extortion, allowing manipulation, allowing people to be treated like slave labourers, employed. And what did he say to that mother whose daughter lost her job? Oh, well, he actually didn't give a toss, and the whole of the National Party laughed. Look up, it's going to be on video on Facebook. National Party laughing at the plight of that woman, Ludwina Mabin, your daughter. Watch the video. National Party didn't give a toss, don't care, and that is the mark of this government. That will be the mark of the reputation. Unfortunately, it will be the mark of New Zealand's reputation unless they sort it out.
The member's time has expired.